Oh, kids. Happy Thursday. Afton Bain is here. She is running in the 7th, and I'm excited to have you on. We had Scott here yesterday. We had our
Jody
good buddy,
on Monday.
Jody Barrett. It was always fun. He's fun. And now we got you, because I'm like, I told everybody, you know what? Make sure you hit bell up if you want to come on the show. And make sure, because we're going to put it out there, but we're not reaching out to everybody. We couldn't even get that one guy we tried to get on, Pele or whatever his name was. Cisapueda or whatever his name was.
Cito Peligro.
That guy. We tried to get him on, but it was like, we never even heard back from him. So, first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's
I'm
it
doing
going?
great. Man, it's been, some days are longer than others, as you know, on the campaign trail, but we've had a lot of fun, breaking lots of hearts, taking lots of names, and kicking some butt.
So, are you getting pumped? How many people are running on your side?
So on my side, there's 4, and I think there's 11 on the Republican side.
Yeah. So, who?
And I'm the only woman.
Yo, out of everybody?
Out of 15 candidates.
No
yeah.
way.
Yes, the only woman.
Oh, my Lord.
So, and you know what? It's been really respectful on the Republican side. Anytime I've been at an event, I went to, there was a joint forum with the Chamber of Commerce and the Farm Bureau on Monday with the Republicans and the Democrats, and it was, quite cordial.
That's nice. We need more of that.
Yeah, especially now. You look good.
Thank you very much.
You've gotten some sun.
I'm trying to. I walk to work every day. That's my, that's exercise. No, but I'm trying to exercise. I'm trying to, do this thing so we can be around and have fun. Obviously, Charlie Kirk, that's a big deal. It's a huge deal, not just for the Republicans, but I think for America. And I'm worried that, did we cross some sort of threshold? Did we do something that you get those moments? And I do worry, because people do horrible things. And this person was obviously angry and hateful. But you're a woman. You're in this. It's on men. And Scott says he worries about it. I could imagine, for you, it could be doubly worse, because you got creepers on top of the fact that you got haters. Yeah,
I mean, I think I joined your television show, your radio show. I love to see you on TV too.
I'm very TV.
You are very telegenic. After the ICE operation in Nashville, and I called in and talked about how I was monitoring ICE in my district for my Hispanic constituents. And after Representative Andy Ogles retweeted the video, called for my arrest, the Department of Homeland Security then retweeted his video and said all elected officials will be arrested if they engage in this behavior. And it was 3 weeks of nonstop violent threats in my email, calls. I had to get a federal criminal defense attorney who told me, do not set foot at your legislative office. Do not set foot at a federal building. And it was really scary. It was really, really scary. And as a female, I just feel like that's even more heightened, especially in the legislature. And it's, I came out and against the violence, and, being in politics, it's a really, really scary time.
It is a scary time. And it's, because people are trying to, was it like 1968? We knew what happened there. And then the 70s, you had the Weather Underground. You had 2,500 bombings throughout the 70s. You had the Sudanese Liberation Army with Patty Hearst.
That's deep lore.
Yeah,
that's deep lore.
That was a big deal. And then you can go back further. And then you had the 60s, Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers and all these kind of, and we've had these moments in time. But now it's like, we had the Minnesota legislature, right?
Speaker of the House assassinated,
They weren't even, they're state politicians. Most people probably couldn't even pick them out of a lineup. This wasn't like people that are, it is a very nerving time. It's a weird time here, because we go out and do appearances, and knowing now that we've got armed guards with us, it's like, what the hell's going on?
So what needs to happen? I mean, I think a lot of it's online. Like I see a lot of people who are self-isolating online, and they're just kind of buying into this ecosystem that's self-perpetuating this deep escalation of the situation, these parasocial relationships with these people. And it's just, it's culminating in really terrible violence. And it's a scary time. And then, that happened in May, and then I decided to run for Congress. And that just tells you how serious I am about this moment in time and what this moment requires in terms of fearless leadership, because I'm willing to put my body on the line for my constituents and the people I serve.
That whole, when you talk about, like, what do we have to do? It's more conversations. The identity, people need to start shedding their identity, right? If somebody disagrees with you about a thought that you have or a belief that you have, it doesn't mean they hate you. They're not the enemy.
Yeah.
You're probably not old enough to remember, But 24 years ago, whoa, see that there, Belle? 24 years ago, 9/11 obviously happened. We became Americans afterwards. I don't think that could happen today.
Yeah. Well, I will say after the ICE operation, I had multiple people in my district that also voted for Trump, and they were very upset about my behavior. And guess what I did?
What?
Instead of responding angrily in an email, I responded and said, hey, can I take you out to breakfast? I'd love to take you out to coffee. Let's discuss this because nothing is going to be solved over emails. And guess how many people emailed me back?
None.
2.
2? Did they go out?
So my former Republican opponent, David Hooven, and I went out for lunch, and then someone else. And she actually called into Matt's show to workshop her talking points on immigration. And we got there, and I'm very charming, as you know. I'm very disarming, and so she was really kind of coming in hot. And I was like, wow, can I buy you a coffee? Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. And I think, we sensationalize these people in our heads and our minds, especially those of us that are on TV. And it's like, when you meet us in person, we are very normal people.
Yeah.
Like
we got to humanize each other.
Yeah.
So we stop being humans. And that is a scary thing because having debates, and I have debates all the time. I get hate and I get all kinds of stuff. I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the job. But when you meet, and the funny thing is, Matt and I have always talked about this. That's fine, but come out to an event and meet me, and then you'd be surprised how many times I didn't think I was going to like you, but you kind of grow. You're nice. I like that. I see where you're going with this, and we've got to stop taking things so personally. It is politics. You're not always going to be happy. We live in a very interesting time and interesting world. We have the greatest experiment of all time, which is self-governance, but we must get over this disdain for each other. And social media plays a big part because you are nameless and faceless. And even if your face is there, it doesn't matter because there is no repercussions of immediacy. Mike Tyson said it's easy to say something across the keyboard when nobody's going to punch you in the face.
That's right.
But he thought, nobody's going to punch you in the face.
That's right.
If I was there, I'd kill you. It'll be crazy. So now that you're out there doing this, do you have extra... when you go places, are you bringing security?
Well, this is for your listeners. The Tennessee legislature or the campaign finance doesn't allow state legislators to pay for security via our campaign funds as a state legislator. So that's something that we've been trying to kind of overrule and put legislation forth that would change that. And then at the federal level, you are able to use campaign funds for that. And so at my personal house and our campaign office, we installed really intense security systems. And I think hopefully once I win the general, that I'll have to have probably someone along with me because it's just terrifying. And you look at the video of Charlie Kirk sitting there out in the open. I mean, I'm out in the open at these events all the time. And it just takes one thing. And I'm curious on the Republican side because their debates are, getting really intense. There's 11 of them. And I just, does something snap and it can all kind of devolve really quickly. I don't know. Yeah.
And there always seems to be these purity tests in a lot of these things. It's like we believe 99% of the same things, but that 0.1% we don't believe. So what do your colleagues say? Cause you showed a picture of you and Scott, you have, but they've got to feel it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely disproportional for those of us that are women and minorities, I think. But I know my colleagues do feel it, and especially, all of them across. It's on both sides, and so I think hopefully this is something that we can come together. Whoever is in the legislature after this race occurs, that we can come together and actually put forth legislation that would enhance security and security protection for the legislators because it's really scary, man. Use the golden rule, right? Every day I wake up and say, what would Dolly do?
There you go. What would she do? She would say, come on over and come to Dollywood. Here's a Grammy or whatever she wants. She won a whole bunch of those. Talking to Afton Bain, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. What made you go, okay, I'm doing this?
Oh, man, your listeners are not going to like this, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So after the ICE situation, and I don't know how that is kind of crystallized on your end and evolved. But with me, I, had to go basically underground in hiding. I couldn't organize any press conferences. Representative Andy Ogles was coming after everyone, right, in our city. And I don't care how you felt about the situation, but it felt like to me that Nashville was under attack. Nashville felt under attack. And I was on a plane and I heard two people in front of me say, oh, by the way, you can't go downtown on Broadway because illegal aliens have set up camps. This was on a plane. coming into Nashville.
Wow.
It wasn't true. I mean, that was a rumor that wasn't true,
There's
right?
a lot of stuff that's not true.
So I felt like our elected leaders weren't doing enough, right, to stand up to whatever is happening. And so I decided to jump in this race. And I'm really grateful I did, because I think a lot of people are inspired. I've been running on affordability. I mean, everything just feels like it's falling apart. And in my world, like, I'm a millennial. I can't afford a house. I can't afford kids.
They're expensive to buy. You can have one. They're a little bit cheaper that way. But
Too soon,
to
Chad.
buy one,
Too soon,
I don't know
Chad.
what those things are costing nowadays.
But it's, I mean, this is an issue that is resonating across the district and across the state, is that life is unaffordable. And I think there are, what is the answer? Well, my answer is, abolishing corporate greed, whatever that looks like, and reining in billionaires. And I think that there's a lot of people that agree with that.
I think there is. It's, that's kind of, it's a funny thing. The Mondani, people freaking out. I get why he resonates with people, right? You come out of college, you got, a gazillion dollars in debt. You're living in New York City. You're paying $6,000 for a one bedroom, toaster oven to live in with 8 people. Or the other choice is to live, 12 hours away on a train.
Right.
And you're looking going, I'm never going to be anywhere but in debt. I'm going backwards. And the affordability, I mean, Trump ran on affordability. I mean, the playbook's the same. I mean, he may want to go about it in a different way, but I understand why people feel that way. What's the guy say? Rent was too damn high. He said that years ago.
Yeah. And so, and I don't hear the Republicans talking about that. Like at the debate, it's all just who can out-Trump one another. There's no nuance to their policy, how they're going to make things more affordable. I haven't heard any of that. It is just like immigration, trans kids, immigration. There's nothing about affordability. And so I'm really interested in the general to see if that plays out. I do have a really good story that I think your listeners will love. And this isn't it to throw anyone under the bus, but you do know there's a January 6er running.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you interviewed him?
No.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I've seen him interview. He's come in a couple times on Chris's show when we were here, but I know. Bell, did he ever send you something? Because Bell wanted his...
Oh, I wanted to see what the pardon looked like, what it actually looks like, because I've never seen one before, and he's never sent it in.
I love that. I love that so much. So I actually met him at an event. I actually met his parents and his best friend. And so, we were chatting, and I was just really interested in his family. And he's got tons of support. I mean, you show up to these Republican events, and he's got like 100 people deep, right? And so my campaign manager and I walk into the Republican debate in Dixon. It's packed, right? And you can't miss us. I'm blonde, and my campaign manager's like 6'2", tatted. And I walk over, and I see Stewart's dad, and Stewart's dad so loud goes, "Oh my God, is that a rogue IRS agent over there?" And everyone just stops talking. And I'm like, "Oh no." And he goes, "I'm just kidding, Afton. It's good to see you."
A rogue IRS. But see, you guys have had a conversation.
Yeah, no. It's been, and obviously things are going to get more challenging during the general. And I'm, depending on who the candidate is, it's going to be rough because there's going to be a lot of outside money. This is going to have national attention. But I think right now, especially, watching, I can show up at a Republican debate and enjoy myself and listen and, hear what's going on and not, get aggressive about it. And I think that's what is lost in our politics.
Yeah. Nuance and conversation is very much lost. Put the ideas out there and let them play out and see who wins. Afton Main, she's here. We're going to talk to her more. Got some of your text messages, so we'll ask you some questions as well. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. That's me. I'm Chad.
You're Chad Benson. What would be funny for
The space lasers. Afton is here. You're not supposed to laugh. Somebody got mad because you were laughing earlier because people like the seriousness of all the stuff.
Yeah.
No, we're having a conversation. This is what conversation and debate looks like and stuff. And I'm going to read some of your questions coming up. One person says, here's a serious question. Federal deficit, entitlement programs, term limits. Where do you stand on those?
Term limits, absolutely. And I will say that, conversations...
What's a good term limit?
That's a great question. Let's hash it out.
Because when you think about it, as we were talking the other day, like Jody goes, all right, so we're going to, by the time you get in there, you're going to go and you're going to probably have a vote, could be for the whole, omnibus or whatever it's going to be. Then all of a sudden,
you're
you got to
campaigning.
start running
That's
again.
right.
And that's kind of what it's like when you're in Congress. So
Yeah.
what is, you don't want You shouldn't get 5 in a row, but is 2, 3?
I would say, and maybe this is just in terms of my career, like moving big programs and projects forward, is like, I would think 10 years, like it would be max, because that gives you time to start something and kind of finish it to its full fruition. And that's my personal opinion.
And maybe you might have the opportunity to go through, a different president and stuff like that, because I think that's always a good
because you're also you're at the bent of the federal government, who's in charge, who has governing power. And so for me, I think it's important, especially for me, that carries kind of long-term projects, right, to fruition. I need that time in this office, and obviously I didn't expect to be running for Congress this year, but I do leverage these seats to do the work I want to do the organizing work I want to do, and I think for me it would be a decade.
Entitlement programs, because we do have to. We've got to clean these things up, and it is a mess. We overspend on all kinds of crap. I look around there and I think, what are we spending all this money on? Why can't we have?
But we just spent it on tax cuts.
Yeah, we did,
for the wealthiest Americans and the biggest multinational corporations.
Yeah, I was
there's never money. There's never money, but there's money for the elites. There's money for the wealthy.
Yeah, I tell everybody, the one big beautiful bill. Guess whose tax cuts aren't permanent? The rich get tax cuts all day. They don't need it, by the way.
Right.
Even Bannon. Steve Bannon's like, he kept telling Trump, don't give the wealthy tax cuts.
Well, he's the real populist in all of this.
Don't give them tax cuts.
Yeah, no,
because
true.
they don't need it.
No. And so I like, especially for me, I'm very triggered by, national debt conversations, because this is on the backs of millennials. This is on the backs of Gen Z. We're going to have to be the ones that solve this. And oftentimes conversations about austerity or national debt are on the direct backs of programs that help people, especially, rural communities, people with disabilities. And so I take, I really get feisty about that, because these programs do help people, especially in the communities that I'm out seeing in District 7.
After May's here, she's running in District 7. She's when is you've got 3 other against you? Is it 4 total or 5?
4 total.
Okay, so somebody just asked, what separates you from them?
I am the only candidate that has never taken corporate PAC money, that has never lobbied on behalf of billionaires and corporations, and nor will take corporate PAC money in this race. Period. End of statement. And I'm the only woman. Okay,
well, I mean, they can't help that. But that's a good thing. Look, Citizens United, it's a nightmare. I want money out of politics because,
it's crony capitalism.
It's ruining capitalism. The free market doesn't exist in that way.
Because now corporations have the lobbying muscle, and we see this in Tennessee. Our state is bought and sold by the biggest companies, and it is hurting small businesses, especially in my district. And they have the lobbying muscle and capacity to then make laws that only benefit them. That's crony capitalism. That's not a free market.
No.
That doesn't allow the consumer to decide, because the entire industry has been monopolized.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. It has. Well, I mean, I've always said this: power craves money, money craves power. You put those things together, it's like the Reese's peanut butter cup. Hey, you're chocolate.
And I can't be bought. Like I just can't be bought. That is my values. It always has been. I've been steadfast, and I can't say that about the other candidates.
Oh, like that. Afton Bain is here. We've got more with her, taking some of your text, right? And you don't have to say horrible things, although she says she wants to read them on the air because it's funny. But, hold on a second. Chad, you're such a kiss-ass liberal. Did you see that? Guess who that's from?
Well,
Ray.
That's old news, man. Everybody knows you're a libtard.
Is he your favorite?
Oh, yeah. He always gets mad at us.
Ray, let me invite you to breakfast.
Yeah, go to breakfast, Ray. There you go. Go to breakfast. It'll be fantastic. All right. More with Afton straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Yeah. No. Well, yeah, for the open.
Oh.
Afton Bain is here. She's running in the 7th against.
What's the wink?
I don't know. I was winking at the thing because all the stuff. Belle, are you watching? Are you reading some of these hilarious?
No, I've got so much other stuff going on.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. So, okay, here. So there are some good ones in here, and then the usual. Chad, you suck. You're the worst. Mike says, "Don't go."
I apologize for sending that.
Don't go to breakfast with Ray. He may poison you," said one guy. How would you stop fraud?
I love a challenge.
How would you stop fraud, the rampant, the stuff in Medicare? How do you clamp down on a lot of that stuff. Because some of it's the people, but also some of it's companies that bill crazy and get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the only lever that we have against Medicaid and Medicare fraud at the higher level is litigation, right? Like these class action lawsuits against states. But Medicaid and Medicare fraud is a very low percent. But, I think we need to talk about what is fraud off of our government in the form of Elon Musk. Your listeners are not going to like this. But Elon Musk has a ton of government contracts, federal government contracts that are taking money. For example, right, like he is leeching off state governments right now to push Starlink, right, instead of fiber for rural broadband. And so there's a lot of ways, like he went in, he grifted. It took him how much money to actually find that there was waste? And it was like more than the waste itself.
I will tell you, I had Starlink out at my house, and it was the most amazing thing. Because
I hear you.
Anything. No, it was incredible. But anytime big business can go in there and get, it's like Palantir.
But he's leveraging his relationships to get these contracts.
And
that is. I just don't agree with it.
I mean, it's cronyism, but that's what you do, because, and we've talked about this, Bell and I have talked about this ad nauseum. Big business, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's big tech, big pharma, they all want regulations because regulations then means less competition. And I don't think people realize that because they want to get in there into government because they want those big contracts.
I know, but Musk is using cronyism to push out the little guy. And that really bothers me at the state and federal level. And so when we're talking about grift and waste, like, what does that really look like? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's the capitals. I want to see free market capitals and what it looks like. And big companies are always going to have the opportunity. I mean, you're not going to buy, Jim's satellite dish if it doesn't work. You still buy, because you can't afford to put up a satellite yourself. Jim doesn't have a satellite, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And if we're going to talk about fraud, waste, and abuse, let's talk about our healthcare system. We have the worst outcomes in the world, despite the most cost going into our healthcare system, and it's because of the insurance companies. And if you want to talk about that, then
well, because insurance companies, they've done the same thing. They let them write Obamacare. They're like, hey, you guys want to write this? Sure. They cripple any competition whatsoever. And that is a nightmare. You can't go across state lines. The stuff that it is just crazy. And there's a lot of people even here who get mad and say horrible things about me as we laugh, but they also will say something's got to give when it comes to this.
It really does. I mean, healthcare costs continue to increase. We're seeing a monopolization of the healthcare industry. I mean, they are cutting costs they're increasing costs left and right, and that cost falls onto the consumer. And I know your fans aren't going to like this, but the big ugly bill cut Medicaid in this state, which Medicaid funds a lot of rural hospitals. It funds nursing homes. 60% of nursing homes in the state of Tennessee are Medicaid funded. I mean, these cuts are going to have dramatic impacts on our communities and our ability to thrive.
Yeah, that's going to be it'll be interesting when it comes into play because I've always said whatever the bill really, you don't look at the 10 years because you're never going to get there because that thing's going to change. Even if J.D. Vance won, chances are things are going to change from there. And so what does it look like at that point? Union rights in Tennessee and TVA project.
Ooh, this is, whoever, thank you for teeing this one up for me. All right. Tennessee Valley Authority. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
I'm a big proponent because I love FDR's New Deal, right? I look at myself as kind of a New Deal Democrat. But TVA historically lifted millions of people out of poverty. It provided union-paying jobs in the South and Tennessee. And so what's happening right now is the Trump administration is trying to steamroll new board members that are basically sycophants that want to privatize. Our energy rates in Tennessee are 70% lower than anywhere else in the country. Anywhere else in the country. TVA is responsible for really good union-paying jobs across the state at these, really rural places. These guys are making great money, and this comes all under threat if TVA is privatized. So our utility rates are already going up, right? I don't know if have you checked out your
utility. I think
it's bad. It's bad, and TVA being privatized is going to be really bad for homeowners in Tennessee.
All right, so we got more questions coming in. You guys are sending in.
I love it. Keep them coming. Substance questions. Let's go.
Yeah, which is good. Let's see here. That was national debt. We've already done that. Okay, somebody wants to know about marijuana. Because that's one of the things we ask everybody, right? Like we want to know, well, I think we know what your stance is comparatively to lots of the people on the right. But what is your stance just on that in general?
Legalize it. Legalize it, decriminalization. And in the legislature, so what has moved from like, I would say neoconservatives, the war on drugs, right? They are now abdicating responsibility saying, well, we're just waiting until the federal government decriminalizes it. And it's like, okay, is Trump going to do that? Do you think he's going to do it?
I think he
I would hope so.
I think what he wants, he's not going to make it legal, but he's going to tell everybody, all right, you guys just
leave it up to states.
Leave it up to states,
or
which is,
whatever.
I think it should be absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of things should be left up to states, but the reason it was a Schedule 1 or still is because of it, once again, Hearst
Stigma,
and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that, you went out and said that, because I think we'll get a cheer from a lot of people here who go like, yeah, I really don't like a lot of the other stuff, but good for the weed.
And what would you want to see in a state like Tennessee?
I don't care.
You came from okay.
I'm a person of, if you're an adult and you're not hurting anybody, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, same.
That's my view.
True libertarianism. Thank you, Chad.
Like that's it, And somebody is going to call me not a true libertarian because, as you know, you can't become a libertarian until somebody tells you you're not a libertarian. But as adults, I think government has gotten to the point now where they want to know everything, control everything.
And get off my body and out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
I've said that. What happened? Just call me a local government, small government conservative, but that is what I want. I want government out of my bedroom and off my body.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I've been advocating for, I think we should be able to sell our kidney and our liver. Where do you stand on that?
I'd buy it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
But no, if somebody came to, like you said, you can't afford it, but there's a lot of people out there. You're sitting there and you got college debt.
Well, it's plasma.
Yeah, plasma. Somebody said, hey, I'll buy your kidney for $500,000. You wouldn't take that if you could?
Do you need your kidney?
You only need one.
Oh.
Yeah, there's two. You need to learn a little more about anatomy. Let's see here. Why can't there be good jobs without a union?
Why can't there be good jobs without unions?
Yeah.
Well,
there are good jobs without unions, but I understand where he's going with this.
Well, I'm gonna do a throwback from Hurricane Helene. So there was a company in Unicoi County called Impact Plastics, and the bosses refused to let their workers leave during the hurricane, and they drowned to death. And those workers weren't unionized. And if they were unionized, they would have had a better contract in place to make sure that didn't happen. I actually filed a bill called the Workers' Right to Live bill because I personally think workers should have a right to live. Guess what? Failed in committee. But unions are really important because it allows you to build negotiating power against the boss, and especially in states like Tennessee where we have like more workplace deaths than anywhere in the Southeast. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh yeah. It's bad. So I'm pro-union and always will be. Why do you think some of your base doesn't like you? What?
Here's the thing with unions. Well, it's simple. What is it? Billionaires got millionaires to tell people that weren't those that these things are bad. And in some cases, look, unions can be good and bad. I mean, you get the power of the unions. Like take California with the teachers union. So ridiculous. They run the state. Or Chicago's the same kind of thing. You can get to that point where there is no free market with them either because they control everything. Now, on the same side, when you go look at, what we used to think is union, hard hat, that kind of stuff, it's also at what point in time, too, you can't afford. I mean, look what happened in Detroit. You can't afford to pay everybody not to work. Eventually, those pensions are going to run out. So it's the balance of some of those things that I think that people get worried about. And we're a free market world, and unions were great 50 years ago. We do have a lot of laws in place, but I have no problems with union. If you want to unionize, I got no problem with it. Knock yourself out. Let's see here. Of course, more horrible things about me, which is hilarious. Which is great. Okay, here's something. Voter ID.
What do you mean?
How do you feel about voter ID?
I mean, we already have the most stringent voter ID laws in the country.
There you go.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a lot. You have to have a government-issued ID to vote. And nothing else.
You know what? If I got to get on it, if I can't buy, cough syrup without a damn ID anymore, you know what? I have a problem with that. Go show it. We move on, and it's silly. Okay, here's another one: the debt. Just the debt in general, like how, because I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Everybody loves cuts as long as it's to the other side stuff, and they like to spend on their side.
Well, let's talk about what good debt might look like. Okay. So in Tennessee, we have a pay-as-you-go model for our infrastructure projects. So for our roads, what do you think that means?
Well, it means that nothing's getting done.
Right. Well, what we could be doing is taking on debt,
Yeah.
right? Because the cost of production and the materials accumulates over time. So if we take on debt to take out financing to finance the project in the beginning, it's going to cost way less if we did that rather than pay as you go, which is what's happening now. We have a $73 billion backlog, a $40 billion backlog when it comes to just roads. And I've been advocating to remove this pay-as-you-go because the state can take on debt. They take on debt for capital projects. You see the capital renovations happening right now?
I mean, it's like anything. Certain debt is
good.
okay.
It's
Other
okay.
debt is not. It's like
What is bad debt? Medical debt,
medical debt,
student debt.
Well, yeah, student debt, but
I know.
we could talk about that all day.
know,
Student
yeah.
debt is a nightmare. Let's see here. A lot of people more hateful to me. Blah, 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 blah. You're an idiot. There you go. You got that. Okay, abortion. They want to know about abortion.
I want the government out of the room with my healthcare provider, my clergy, and my family. Like it is I don't think government should be included in that decision at all. Period. End of statement. I just don't understand this. Like, what happened to small government conservatives? What happened to them? Are they in the room with us? Where are
the
they?
small government conservatives, that was always, that
Local
was a dream
control,
a long time ago.
Local control, small government, a more libertarian bent. Like those are I'm like, yes. I just don't know. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are.
I don't think most people know where they are anymore because like anything, we're talking about small government. No, we never got there. Go look. Everybody expands government. You think the Republicans, the Democrats, they all expand government. They pretend like they're not going. Trump, for like him or hate him, we're antiquated in the way that we do a lot of things.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
there's ways that we could save
Lots of red tape. Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
We're not free market like we thought. You want to build a house in many places. Good luck with that. So there's a lot of things that we need to fix, but government always tends to expand, and they all say we're cutting, then they hire over here. Well, they're cutting over here, but they're hiring over here.
Well, and look at Tennessee state government. Our budget has doubled in size in 15 years. That's not small government.
No.
And it's because a lot of it has been privatized. It's not going to increased programs or services, of which I'd be a proponent for, but they've doubled the state budget. That is the embodiment of big government. I don't know what to tell you.
But it's the spending, right? Like we all.
And they're not spending it on good things.
No,
that's the disagreement.
That is the disagreement. But they're hiring people. They're doing this, and everybody, of course, is getting paid. But Belle and I always talk about this. Everybody loves cuts as long as it's not to their stuff.
Yeah.
And they love to spend when it is on their stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Everybody does it. And that's part of, unfortunately, the game we play. Afton Bain here as we wrap it up. Are you excited? What's your next thing? When can people get out? Go to breakfast with her.
Except Ray.
Except for Ray, because apparently he will try to poison her. Where can they chat at you? Where can they find out? Where can they argue with you at?
So I'm on all social media. You can find my website at aftonforcongress.com. We've got a few more debates. Oh my gosh, the debate schedule has been grueling. It's been like 2 a day. But hopefully the primary is October 7th. So if you live in the 7th Congressional District and you want a cute blonde, populist blonde to vote for, go out and vote. And then hopefully we'll be heading to the general December 2nd.
There you go. Afton, appreciate you coming in today. We're going to wrap it up straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Wrapping up the show on this beautiful Thursday. Our buddy Matt. Matt, where are you? Out there drinking wine already?
I am not drinking wine, Chad. I am setting up for the Charlie Daniels Patriot Awards dinner that's happening a little bit later on tonight at City Winery, just down the street from our studios, and hopefully a big crowd will be on hand to celebrate our veterans, to remember 9/11. They are honoring some surviving members of the Benghazi attacks on September 11th, September 12th, 2012. So we'll talk about that a little bit as the show progresses today. But that's what we're doing out here. We're excited.
That is a great thing, honoring veterans and the people out there, especially after all the things took place yesterday, and it's been a hard day for a lot of people. And yesterday, I thought you guys did a hell of a job considering how things were going and the information flying in. You did a hell of a job, and Chris did a hell of a job today as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you get through it if your hand. I mean, it feels personal to all of us. I think if you're in this industry, but really if you pay attention to the political world, it seems to feel more personal. I was talking to somebody, I was talking to Han last night. I called him after the show just to make sure he was doing okay. And we were discussing this, and even, not to compare the two events necessarily, but it just feels more senseless than someone attempting the life of a leader, right? A president of the United States or a candidate for president or any foreign leader. You hear about these types of assassination attempts, and you can you don't understand the madness behind it, but you understand why that person would be driven to that madness. This seems more senseless, seems more personal, and I can't imagine it being even more so personal in terms of knowing Charlie better. I only met him once, but, obviously our colleague Chris Hand, I mean, our hearts and our love go out to him because I don't know that I could have done the show that he did today.
That was tough, and he had his glasses on. If you guys haven't seen it, especially the opening, it's
a hard watch.
It's a hard watch. And even I was going to say, my wife, I said, you should watch Chris, I said, and she goes, oh, I will. And she sent me this today. That I can't watch Chris anymore. She goes, because every time I look at him, I start to cry. Give him a big hug for me because that was genuine. Sometimes in this business, you're like, that was so genuine. He was so upset and so crushed and so moved, though, by, the outpouring of people out there. But also, what Charlie and what Turning Point did. And I've been saying this, man, as Charlie Kirk, the guy that you'd see on TV or the debates, the character that some people made him out to be, that was separate from the thing I thought that was the most important of the things, which was the building up of Turning Point. And I'm telling you, man, I think Trump wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Charlie.
No, I think that Charlie Kirk was, I think certainly he is on the Mount Rushmore. If you had a Mount Rushmore of individuals that secured certainly the reelection of Donald Trump in 2024, Charlie Kirk would be on it because Charlie Kirk motivated young people to the polls. And here's the most, and I said this yesterday, and we'll kind of double down on it on the show today, the biggest affront